Now on CoastTV News.
Lewis dredging finally complete, the difference fishermen are already noticing.
Fighting poverty for decades in the first state, the program's highlighted today to help people buy and to keep their homes.
There may be more alcohol around future Berlin events. What permit could be approved tonight?
And it looks like you might need our first alert line for tomorrow and the day after, because we're looking for record-breaking heat and maybe even a spring thunderstorm.
This is CoastTV News at 5.
The dredging is done. Just take a look at the Lewis Canal from the front of a fishing boat. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis. Welcome to our News at 5. We begin tonight with the end of a 5-month-long project to improve the Lewis Canal.
The equipment is gone and boaters are on the go. The dredging project, completed by Dredge It, removed about 40,000 cubic yards of sediment. As Coast TV's Tori Seagraves reports, fishermen are already seeing a difference, and further plans for dredging in Lewis are in the works.
Third-generation captain H.D. Parsons owns the Fisherman's Wharf. After months of waiting, Parsons says dredging is already proving its worth by removing hidden obstacles.
If you got in too close, you'd catch up on a mud bar that was piled up there, and sometimes it would make you stop. So you had to make it a lot wider. And yesterday, it's just nice and smooth and easy as it can be.
Dredging took place from the Roosevelt Inlet to just south of the Freeman Highway Bridge. The Army Corps of Engineers says that this project finished at a cost of about $1.8 million.
Basically, they removed about 40,000 cubic yards of sediment from a portion of the canal. For context, a dump truck is about 12 to 15 cubic yards, so it's more than 3,000 dump trucks of sediment that removes from that portion of the canal.
For the boaters that are actually using this canal, H.D. Parsons says getting all that muck out and removing the railroad bridge has literally made going with the flow a little faster.
It's hard to believe a railroad bridge would do that, but with the cleaning of that out and cleaning the other day, going down the canal with the current, and normally we're 6 knots, 6.1. Going down with the current yesterday, dead idle, we were 7.1.
But that quicker current does have some drawbacks.
It's harder to dock for a lot of these guys. It's going to be a little bit tougher to dock. But at the same time, with the good current flow, means things don't get stagnant.
Now that this long-awaited project is done, the city is looking to do more dredging. Steve Rochette with the Army Corps of Engineers has confirmed that plans are underway for a separate contract focused east and south of the Freeman Highway, which is right where the project left off. In a previous meeting, the city said that the equipment used to dredge the canal couldn't be used to dredge the boat slips here in Canal Front Park. The city says they plan to go back and dredge those boat slips in the fall. I'm Tori Seagraves in Lewis, Coast TV News.
Speaking of projects, the Indian River is currently being dredged right now. Anticipated benefits include protection against flooding and erosion, enhanced wildlife habitat, and increased recreational opportunities. Dredge It says that will be done by 2025.
It's called saltwater intrusion, and it's a growing problem for Delmarva farmers as sea levels rise. Thousands of acres of farmland are being lost as the ground becomes too salty and as invasive salt marsh plants spread inland. The massive loss of land is taking a toll on farmers right here along the coast.
It is an economic hardship. And, anytime you take productive ground, and this ground here is extremely productive, you take it out of the equation, you're losing.
We're going to take a more in-depth look at this problem coming up tonight at 6, so make sure you tune in for that. But in the meantime, let's bring our Coast TV poll up. We want to know what's your view on saltwater intrusion. Let's take a look at the results.
Take a look at your screen. So far, 46% say this needs immediate action. 36% say it's a threat to agriculture, just like we saw there. 18% believe this is a climate change sign.
Now, this is the first time we've run the poll. These numbers might change all throughout the evening, but you can be a part of the question and answer process. Go to coasttv.com or use the mobile app.
As we take a live look right now into Lewis, look at that beautiful sunbeam. Every evening on our broadcast, the sun is higher in the sky, and it makes me so happy. As we check in with our first alert, Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams. I took too much of your time, Paul. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm with you I'm right here with you. Yay! Man, it feels good to not be cold all day and all night long. Okay, enough of the personal stuff. Let's do the forecast. Bay Health Camera in Dover, we're looking at 49 degrees, which is milder when you think about it, because 42, 45 is the normal high. Temperatures will fall from the 50s, what a treat, down to about 46 for the 9 o'clock hour. Now, we see scattered cloud cover that's pushing across for right now, and we're pretty quiet and docile for right now. But as we go into tomorrow, we anticipate that the winds are going to continue to push out of the south, but look at where we're going to end up in the 60s. But this right here, pay attention to this, because this is going to be the beginning of the worm turning in a major way. We'll talk about that in your full forecast. Till then, back to you.
Thank you. The Mulberry Landing boat ramp, that's at the Assawoman Wildlife Area near Bethany Beach, it's going to close March 6th. That's for upgrades, including enlarging and paving the parking lot you see here on your screen. Denrec says the ramps plan to reopen by April 14th, weather permitting. During construction, Denrec says the wildlife area will remain open, with an alternative boat launch available at Holt's Landing State Park, the Indian River Marina, and Rosedale Boat Ramp.
Right now, more than 11% of Delawareans live in poverty. That's according to First State Community Action Agency. In the newsroom is Coast TV News anchor Mallory Metzner. Mallory, the organization has been helping homeowners here in Sussex County for almost 60 years.
Charlie, First State Community Action Agency shared the progress that its 21 programs have made at its headquarters in Georgetown today, while the National Community Action Foundation was in town for a visit. These state and federally funded programs provide housing counseling, home improvements, income tax prep, opioid outreach, workforce development, eviction prevention, and emergency shelters. The list goes on. Congresswoman Lisa Blunt Rochester spoke at this event about the continued fight against poverty. Executive Director Bernice Edwards says even though January was Poverty Awareness Month, this is a year-round, sometimes lifelong issue to address.
Sometimes it takes longer than 6 months or a year to buy a house, but we keep working, because I know if we can lift people up, it's going to make it better for all of us.
Coming up on Coast TV News at 6, you'll hear from a family who was able to buy a home with the help of First State Community Action Agency. Maddie, Charlie.
Thank you, Mallory. Happening now, Dagsboro is accepting applications for open positions on the town's Board of Adjustment. Some qualifications for the voluntary position include that you live in town and have knowledge of the problems of urban and rural development. Applications need to be into Town Hall no later than March 18th at 4:30 p.m.
With just over a week to go before Super Tuesday, Nikki Haley is storming across the country to spread her message. Though she lost the primary in her home state of South Carolina, she does vow to move on. Meanwhile, fresh off his win in the Palmetto State, former President Trump turning his sights to Super Tuesday and also revamping the Republican National Committee. NBC's Drew Petrimo shows us how President Biden is facing voter anger over his stance on Israel's war in Gaza.
Ahead of Tuesday's Michigan primary, Nikki Haley continuing her long-shot bid for the Republican nomination, fresh off a 20-point loss to former President Trump in her home state of South Carolina.
Americans want a voice, and we're giving them that voice. And as long as Americans want me to be that voice, I will continue to fight for them.
On the Democratic side, President Biden is facing a push from activists urging voters to write in undecided on their ballots in protest of the president's handling of the war in Gaza. Michigan's Democratic governor asking voters to stick with the president.
There's a lot at stake in this upcoming election. It doesn't boil down to one or two issues, but the difference couldn't be more stark when it comes to a Trump presidency or a second term for President Biden.
We found voters in the state unhappy with the prospects of a Biden-Trump rematch, but hesitant to support Haley.
We need something to bring us together. And Nikki Haley might have been that person. Like I said, I feel like Biden and Trump are both very divisive.
Despite reporting that she raised $1 million in the 24 hours after her South Carolina loss, Haley's campaign took a blow when the political network of the billionaire industrialist Koch brothers announced it was suspending support.
Michigan's up, and we're going to have a tremendous success there.
Trump already moving into general election mode, back at Mar-a-Lago today as he shapes the Republican National Committee. current chair Ronna McDaniel, who Trump has criticized, announcing she is stepping down, with Trump's handpicked selections, including his daughter-in-law, the favorites to take over leadership. Another sign the general election is taking shape, President Biden and former President Trump scheduling dueling visits to the border on Thursday. Drew Petrimo, NBC News, Washington.
From the campaign trail back to Capitol Hill, where lawmakers have much to do this week. President Biden is set to meet with congressional leaders tomorrow as they work to hash out a spending plan that avoids a partial government shutdown. That's set to kick in on Friday.
Berlin events may be more relaxed when it comes to alcohol. The Berlin Chamber of Commerce has approached the town with a request to expand the beverage offerings at their events to include liquor. If approved, people would be able to walk around the event with mixed drinks in hand and wouldn't have to stay within the establishment they bought it in. Berlin local Ryan Zlatsky says he wouldn't mind the change, but hopes there'd be some sort of cutoff in place.
I don't think, people should be banging back 10 whiskeys at a time. I think that there should be a freedom to have what you want to choose, what to drink, but also within limitations of like maybe a cap off of how much you're allowed to consume within a certain period of time.
The Berlin Council will gather tonight to either permit or prohibit people from walking around with those liquor drinks at Berlin events.
Coming up, the burn of Maryland forest fires. The Department of Natural Resources has released the total number of acres set aflame in 2023.
And spring-like warmth and a few wacky rain showers are expected this week. Look, we are not record-breaking, but we're getting awfully close. I'll show you what I'm tracking in the forecast.
These tractor trailers caught on fire in Easton. What we know so far, up next.
At Atlantic General Hospital, we've been busy. Busy expanding healthcare services that are second to none in our region. From cancer care, women's health services, to orthopedics, gastroenterology, and more, we provide advanced health technologies delivered by top providers. Expert care every day. It's what you can count on from Atlantic General Hospital.
Sorrento invites you and your family to join us for some of Delmarva's best authentic Italian cuisine. Experience the aroma of warm bread served at your table in a cozy atmosphere. Try seafood pescatore or pasta with grandma's gravy. Our New York-style pizza and strombolis are a local's favorite. Top it off with cocktails, wine, and dessert. So for great food, good wine, great friends, good times, Villa Sorrento. That's amore. That's a nice.
Dr. Phil's no-nonsense cure for what's ailing America. Next, Inside Edition, his new book, We've Got Issues, and his brutally honest look at the state of the nation today.
10 principles for saving this society.
Can common sense bring us back together? Then, behind the scenes at the SAG Awards. Watch the next Inside Edition.
Today at 5:30 on CoastTV.
Look at my shoe. They're scuffed. I look like a school administrator.
Show me what you got. It's real now.
Mind if I take my dress off?
I do not.
I am a human chill pill.
As someone who took chill pills in the 80s, you need a new dealer.
Didn't you always say we should be honest about who we are?
Within the family, yes. But to outsiders, it's a lifetime of deception.
Night Court and Extended Family, Tuesday on NBC and Peacock.
This is Coast TV News at 5.
These tractor trailers you see right here on your screen, they caught fire in Easton back on Friday afternoon. You can see the 3 hoods of the trucks destroyed from the flames. The Maryland Fire Marshal says that the damage is estimated at $150,000. The good news, nobody was hurt. The cause, that's still under investigation.
In your business news today, the EPA is considering slowing down requirements for automakers to sell more electric cars. The move could dial back aggressive plans to move away from gas-powered cars and SUVs. EV sales in the U.S. hit a record last year, topping 1 million for the first time. However, industry insiders say there are a few factors still holding back sales. Those include higher prices, lack of public charging stations, and general confusion about the substantial tax credits available for buyers. Speaking of EVs, the city of Milford has introduced new charging stations. Those will be at Northeast Front Street, and the goal is to improve downtown foot traffic and support drivers with electric cars on routes 1 and 113. It is funded by the DENREC DC Fast Vehicle Charging Station Grant. That is actually funded, interesting, through the VW Mitigation Settlement Fund that was launched in 2022. A ribbon cutting for those chargers is scheduled for March 6th at 11 a.m.
Credit card debt in the U.S. is surging. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York says credit card debt hit a new high of $1.1 trillion. That's trillion with a T. Dollars from October through December. LendingTree says the average unpaid credit card balance was more than $6,800 in the fourth quarter, but some economists say the debt level is not as alarming as it might seem. They say workers are still commanding robust wage gains, the stock market is on solid footing, and attitudes towards the economy have improved dramatically in recent months.
We're watching out for breezy beach conditions, but it's all about the heat for right now. Look at how we've changed over the last 24 hours, nearly 20 degrees warmer, and we're going to go even higher than that. The forecast is coming up next.
For decades, John B. Parsons has been a sanctuary tailored to the needs of its residents. We are excited to now bring the same award-winning care to your home with Harrison Health at Home. Our family of experienced caregivers can help you maintain your independence in the comfort of your own home. Or, following an incident, our Bridge to Home program can help you with a temporary assisted living stay and personalized transition plan to get you back home. Harrison Senior Living, our family taking care of yours for 50 years.
Tonight, it's a big new deal.
Let's go! Boys, buckle up, Reba.
Starting with a new season of The Voice with the double chair.
Our first ever coaching duo. We're Dan and Shay.
My first thought was block them.
You get two for the price of one.
Then, the premiere of Deal or No Deal Island.
More adventure? Anyone afraid of heights?
What?
More risk?
Let's go!
Same question. Deal or no deal?
It all starts tonight on NBC and Peacock.
The Black community has always carried the power of storytelling. From the prolific musicians of West Africa, to courageous activists and leaders, to fearless digital creators. Join us as we discover and evolve our stories. Discover Black heritage.
Welcome to the Ride Home on Coast Country 103.9 and 106.3. First rule of the ride home, we definitely talk about the ride home. In fact, tell all your friends. Second rule of the ride home, we have fun. Top 10 Tuesday, Would You Rather Wednesday, and every day, you pick the songs on the High Five. And the third rule of the ride home, we don't take ourselves too seriously. You've got enough to stress about. So let me handle the ride home, weekdays from 3 to 7 on Coast Country 103.9 and 106.3.
It's National Geographic Week on Wheel. 2 special wedges, once-in-a-lifetime cruise.
Yay! Monday at 7 on Coast TV.
Honesty, integrity, bravery. Here is what we can face together.
Incoming! Let's go.
I've had this policy of not mixing my work and romantic life until now.
I have no doubts you will make a great leader.
It's like you said, Chief. Change is inevitable. I'm no good without the job. You know that.
You've got the team. I've got you.
Chicago Wednesday, new on NBC and Peacock.
Weather brought to you by Paul Davis Restoration, your storm damage experts. Here to help now.
Looks like we're going to have a bit of a meteorological fling with spring here pretty quickly, with the temperatures going up and our chances of thunderstorms going up as well. Right now, our gutter helmet camera in Ocean View, we're at 53 degrees. That's way above the norm for this time of the year, and we're going to stay above the norm with temperatures hovering in the 40s, staying clear until we get to about, let's say, 9 o'clock. Then we'll see a few more clouds by then. But let me show you what we're talking about this spring change. We're going to have near record warmth over the next couple of days. Not only that, but spring showers are going to kick in. It's going to actually bring about stormy conditions. And finally, some Arctic air is going to come in immediately behind it. And because we're going to be so spoiled being warm, that Arctic air is going to feel that much more uncomfortable. Look at today's highs. At 53, Ocean City, that's okay. That's half stepping. But I'm telling you, we stepped right into center stage with 61 in Georgetown and 62 in Salisbury. We do have a gale wind watch that'll stay in effect until 1 o'clock Thursday. So we're looking for very breezy conditions. One of the reasons why we're calling for first alert day for Wednesday. I'm going to show you the proof of that in a moment. We see scattered showers moving and meandering on a zonal flow directly from the west to the east throughout portions of Virginia. And what this light precipitation you see here running into too much dry air for it to worry about it just right now. But it will catch up with us a little bit later on tonight. We're at 55 in Lewis, 57 in Milton, 60 right now in Millsboro, but we're 19 degrees warmer now than we were just 24 hours ago. That's just how crazy those temps have jumped off. And take a look at it from, and I don't usually show you maps this wide, but I want to make a point here. It's warm everywhere, and the more you go in this direction, the more record highs that are being set throughout the center part of the country, and we're on the edge of that same very warm air. Then there's the rain. You see, taking a look at Tuesday evening, you'll notice we're going to go up to maybe an inch over in Seaford, close to that in Georgetown, and just barely shy of that in Milton as far as the rain's concerned. The winds are going to be coming out of the south for Tuesday. By 11 o'clock, we're looking at scattered showers pushing through, but it's Wednesday when the rain begins, 7:30 in the morning. Then I'm looking out for this for Wednesday night. This is actually indicative of a frontal boundary that's going to push through, and this front is going to come through with a lot of gusto and a lot of attitude. It's not necessarily severe thus far, but as it's marching across other parts of the country, it's going to turn severe for them. Now, as far as the amount of rain it's going to dump on us, well, we're looking at 3/4 of an inch at the very least, all of our three main locations. But look at these winds. For Tuesday, about 10:30, but by Wednesday, at about 8:30, 40-mile-per-hour winds along the coast coming out of the south, and we stay pretty gusty with the winds till we get to, let's say, Thursday. All that being said, here's the bottom line. 44 for tonight, not chilly at all for tonight, to be honest. 64 for tomorrow, partly sunny, rain likely, but it's going to happen late. Then Wednesday hits. Very blustery, steady downpours. Wednesday's also our first alert day. Here's a look at the extended forecast. So we could go AM or PM, but because the rain's going to happen throughout most of the day, we're going to call it for the whole day for Wednesday and another round of rain possibly over the weekend.
Thank you, Paul. In 2023, Maryland saw a spike in wildfires, and those fires burned up more than double the 10-year average in terms of acres. That's according to the Maryland Forest Service. Last year, nearly 200 wildfires scorched over 4,000 acres across the state. February 2023 marked the state's worst month for wildfires in terms of acreage, largely due to a single fire in Dorchester County that was estimated to have burned over 2,000 acres in the state. Despite the increase, the Department of Natural Resources says nobody was hurt by the wildfires and no significant private property damage was reported to the Maryland Forest Service.
Coming up, the connection between Alzheimer's and air pollution. Stay tuned on Coast TV News at 5.
Chesapeake Healthcare is always growing, adding providers, including a new head of dentistry, expanding our mental health care to the Crisis Center in Berlin, and adding accolades. Several of our providers are Stars of Salisbury Award winners and finalists, as well as Best Local Pharmacy and Best Local Business. That's because Chesapeake Healthcare's office staff handles all the billing and insurance work, so our doctors have time to be doctors. Learn more at chesapeakehc.org.
Brought to you by Dry Zone, your local crawl space experts.
You may think your home's crawl space is okay, but chances are it's not. Mold, pests, and rotting beams can all cause problems for your home and for your family. The good news is your home's crawl space problems can be fixed permanently, so you and your family can rest easy. Because crawl space problems won't get better with time, but they will get better with us.
Call Dry Zone today for your free estimate.
Next Jeopardy! The wait is over.
This is the biggest tournament of champions ever.
Monday at 7:30 on Coast TV.
Dr. Phil's no-nonsense cure for what's ailing America. Next, Inside Edition, his new book, We've Got Issues, and his brutally honest look at the state of the nation today.
10 principles for saving this society.
Can common sense bring us back together? Then, behind the scenes at the SAG Awards. Watch the next Inside Edition.
Today at 5:30 on Coast TV.
Delmarva's Classic Rock, Big 107.7.
Over 14,000 people per day are affected by water damage in their home or business. Even a small leak from a water heater, washer, refrigerator line, or even HVAC drain can cause lasting damage. Response time is critical. Paul Davis has a team of certified experts on call 24/7 to stop the water, mitigate damage, and work directly with your insurance to quickly restore your home or business. If you see peeling paint, stains, mold, or smell a musty odor, call Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling.
In your health news, a new study links air pollution to signs of Alzheimer's disease. According to the study, people who inhale higher concentrations of small airborne particles, for example, exhaust from vehicles like that, are more likely to have signs of the disease in their brains. The study was done using tissue from more than 200 donors in Atlanta who volunteered to donate their brains to research before their deaths. Donors who lived in areas with high levels of traffic-related air pollution had more Alzheimer's-related plaques in their brain than donors who lived in areas with lower air pollution.
In celebration of National Public Health Week in April, the Wicomico County Health Department is now accepting nominations for the 2023 Outstanding Public Health Leader Award. The department is encouraging people to recognize one special individual who has made a contribution to public health and safety, specifically for the citizens of Wicomico County. The winner will be announced at the awards ceremony on April 2nd at the Wicomico Youth and Civic Center. Nominations can be submitted to the department now until March 11th. We'll be right back.
Shift gears for success with the DSN Scholar Athlete Award, brought to you by your Salisbury Honda dealer.
Each month we'll award a $1,000 scholarship to a Delmarva High School senior who excels in sports and in the classroom.
It's tapped home. Oh, what a hit!
They must have at least a B average or higher and a drive for good sportsmanship.
Nominate your champion today on the Features tab on DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com.
The DSN Scholar Athlete, driven by your Salisbury Honda dealer.
Why'd you have to strike that match? It set my world on fire.
I'm giving up on love, 'cause love's giving up on me.
Gonna sound like a winner when I lay you down and love you right. Yeah, that's my kind of night. Won't stay right here all night. If the good roads feel like creek, we'll rise.
1039 and 1063. We're local, we're Coast Country, and we're Delmarva proud.
Take the DSN app with you wherever you go and never miss a game from your favorite local team. Whether you're on the road, stuck at the office, or out with friends and family, the DSN app notifies you when your team is on live, so you can watch the game as it happens or watch videos on demand. Keep up with local sports all from one app. From your mobile device to Fire Stick, Roku, and Apple TV, download the DSN app today. Driven by Preston Automotive Group.
Dancing with your shadows, dancing with your shadows.
I know I used to be crazy. That's 'cause I used to be young. Dance the night away.
1025 WBOC.
Delmarva's classic rock. Big 1077.
We're going to enjoy all kinds of clear skies and beautiful sunset in Laurel, courtesy of our Tyndall Casual Furniture camera at 58 degrees. We're going to drop down to 50 by 8 o'clock and 47 by 9 o'clock. We do have some gale wind watches along the entire coast. We're watching out for about 35-mile-per-hour winds. And here's a look at your extended forecast. Remember, Wednesday is a first alert day. 1-inch rain, 40-mile-per-hour winds.
Paul, thank you, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 5.
For more news, for more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
Inside Edition is up next.
And we're going to see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 6. Have a great evening.